Wisdom must go. Blessing now. Heal our land, heal our minds, help the children.
Hi, people. Good morning. It almost feels like I should carry my bag and be going because what architect Apeh has touched on is really incredible. And it's interesting that even without speaking to him or speaking to anybody, we are going along the same lines. Because when I begin to talk to you, you're going to hear about Mark Zuckerberg also from what I've written down. And, so it means that this thing is really important and it is timely. I want to start by thanking Architect Apeh. Thank you for creating this platform. Thank you, Purple Foundation, the organizers of this 10-class program. I thank Mommy. Hi, Mommy. I'm loving the haircut as well. I want to thank Mercy, Christy, and for you who are here. It's really a privilege to be able to come and talk to you. So, this is a great time to be alive. And why do I say this? Man, who is a mere creature of God, is tired of flying internationally. Man is flying into space. Now, it may be that we'll get to a point where we ask, where are we going for summer? And I'm like, I need a few days to go and chill at the International Space Station because they're talking about space tourism now. It's a great time to be alive where people like Kanye West, Kanye West is worth between $2 and $6.6 billion. And he made it out of his singing song, correct? It's an incredible time to be alive when normal roles and professions are changing. Now, someone is an influencer, something that our parents never heard about, correct? And they are making millions of dollars. Now, when you tell your parents that you don't want to go to school, you're going to learn how to code. I mean, there's school for coding as well, but maybe you don't want to go to a normal university. These were not possibilities then. Before now, in our parents' time, they were nurses, they were teachers. In our time, they wanted us to be architects, doctors, engineers, right? Now, in this time, we have my nephew is studying, is it something, I can't even pronounce it. He's going to be so embarrassed. But there are courses now like robotics. There are courses like you can be an influencer. You can be literally anything you want to be. And that's why I want to introduce this theme. My theme for this summit for this class is create, nurture, and learn. Let me say it again. Create, nurture, and learn. Now, how do we become visible? We become visible by being unapologetically ourselves. If you walk in anybody's shoes, you're not going to be visible. You're going to be behind that person. But when you chart your own course, you're going to be very visible. Now, there was one day I was going for a walk. And you know how it is when you're going for a walk? Your mind is thinking about different things. Maybe what if you can eat a goosey that day, what you can have for lunch. Just thinking about different things. And this day when I was going for a walk, I started thinking about, for some reason, money. And the thought came to my head that some of the richest guys around, I'm still going to talk about this Kanye West because, his figures are mind-blowing. What do they do? These guys are creating. That's what they do. Kanye West is creating something that only he can create. And we are buying it because we like what he is creating, which is what only he can create. Do you agree with me? Now, if you like Beyonce's sound, for example, you're going to buy her music, which is what only Beyonce can create. You see what I mean? So it means that creation, it means that we can create anything. It means that creation is something that is totally personal to you, that when people come on board you, it is endless. Do you see what I mean? So one way to be yourself is to identify what can you create. Now, I want you to follow me. So, while I was thinking about this creation matter, I now started to think, how about the other ways that people make money? You guys are familiar with Serena Williams, of course. Do you know her net worth? Does anybody know her net worth? Okay, she's worth about $250 million. Then, Mark Zuckerberg, the guy is worth about $51.4 billion. Now, all these figures, we pulled them off, from research. But that's the range. When we talk about, please, who knows Trevor Noah? Trevor Noah is incredible. I love Trevor Noah because Trevor Noah is a funny guy. And based on being a funny guy, Trevor Noah is worth $100 million. I went to Apeh. I don't know who knows Obafemi Awolowo University in Apeh. I went to Apeh. There was one year we had 13-month strike. We were at home for 13 months. Architect Apeh will tell you that in School of Architecture, we don't sleep. We see all sorts of things. And Apeh was known for aluta. In fact, the first time I received tear gas was when they were inviting us out to come and struggle because they had increased the price of bread by 30 naira. I think bus fare was maybe, I can't remember, maybe let's say it was 12 naira. And it was increased to 17 naira. And the aluta people said, come out and fight. In that struggle, somebody was shot dead. Now, this is us that went to school for degrees. If wasted our time so much, I'm aware that ASU is on strike right now, so many people are familiar with this. They wasted our time so much that when I was in camp, some of the people from the private universities, they finish at maybe 18. But when you go to a federal university, you finish like when you're 45 years old or something. And they were asking me stupid questions that what happened? I'm like, but I'm not 45. I'm just playing. So this is Trevor Noah, he didn't get a degree in comedy, as far as I know. He's just a funny guy. And not just a funny guy, because his funniness is worth $100 million. That's also a creator. It's something from inside him that he is bringing out. Creation. You see what I mean? Okay. I still want to take us through the list of creators because there are different types of creators. We've talked about Trevor Noah. We've talked about Mark Zuckerberg. Now, there are people who create new worlds. For example, the Amazon guy. Please, who knows his name? Fantastic. Do you know what he's worth? Does anybody know? I think 17 point something billion. Like when we call these figures in dollars, it's incredible. Like if you give me $17 billion now, I don't know what will happen. That kind of money seems endless, right? But there are people who have that cash because they are creating. Okay, let's move on to the next type of people who make money. I mentioned Serena Williams before. She's worth $250 million. Of course, the guys here, or even the girls here, we know Ronaldo. Abi? Who knows what he's worth? Please, can somebody just know what he's worth? And even if we don't know, we know that his money is not in naira now. His money is in dollars. Like in naira, his money will be limitless. He is a football player. Correct? Fine. Then I started to think about these guys. Okay, so there are these people creating. And then there are these people who are playing ball, playing tennis. There are surgeons who are skilled, who are making a lot of money. And then I now thought about the people in between. Because there are people who manage these guys, right? And there are people who manage what the creators are creating. Now, I now started to check. Apeh mentioned if you are Mark's friend, you can tell him to go for counseling. Okay. Now, the people in his own, in his network, in his, his circle, I cannot remember this particular name, but this young guy is, he was born in 84, which would make him about 37 or so. And he's worth about $11.4 billion. Why? Because when Mark Zuckerberg started talking about the Facebook thing, he bought into it, right? And developed it. Okay? So, the COO, I'm going somewhere with these figures. The COO of Facebook, I think his name is Olivan. That one is what, maybe $15 to $20 million? Now, he's a manager. Then you talk about the guys who manage the football clubs. Sir Alex Ferguson. Do you have an idea what the guy is worth? I hear he still earns maybe £235,000 or dollars weekly, every week. Exactly. He's a manager. He's what about, is it 70 million? Like, I love how we're tossing these figures around. It's making me feel so cool. Like $54 billion. It's just to show possibility. So, I came to the humble conclusion that there are 3 ways which people can express themselves to make money. Don't be bored, right? There are 3 ways that people can express themselves to make money. 1, you are creating. 2, you are a manager. 3, you are skilled. And for me, it's summed up to creators, managers, and masters. Now, for you to be visible, you have to identify where you belong to and be very true to that. So I'm just going to do a random thing now. Is there another mic? Okay. Please, I need 5 people. Just 5 people. Just volunteer. Okay. Please, I want you to ask each of them what they do.
Okay. I manage a network of young entrepreneurs and thought leaders in Africa.
Fantastic. Great. So you manage the network. Okay.
All right. So I'm still a student, but I have like a part-time business.
Hey, I want to see your face. Where are you? Okay, a part-time business.
Yeah.
Doing what?
I sell bear sheets, and
Fantastic.
recently I do make popcorn. So.
So that's a creator. Okay. Manager, creator.
Yes, I'm a student and I also do a part-time business by selling bread as a retailer.
Incredible guys, man. Okay. 3 people. A 4th person. If we don't have the last person, I'm going to choose anybody I like. Thank you.
I'm also a student affected by ASU.
I was just going to say we bind us in Jesus' name.
I draw and I make shoes.
Oh, super, 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 super. I want to ask you though, sorry. Do you make the shoes yourself or you contract it out? Fantastic. Okay, last person. Yes.
I work at the microfinance bank.
Okay.
And I'm a chef.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so from this survey now, I have found one technician. No, that's one master, right? So, we are creators, we're managers, or we're masters, correct? So I found one master over there. I found a manager. I found 2 creators. You are a chef. I found a creator. Also, maybe a manager too, right? Okay, please, you can sit down. So, the point to this exercise is to find out where your strongest leaning is and to move towards it, right? So let me tell you, those of you here, can you identify where your biggest leaning is? Can you tell if you're a creator, if you're a master, or if you're a manager? Can you tell before we go on? Okay, great. So, to be visible, you have to be true to yourself, right? Now, there are some pitfalls that people face. For example, when someone is a creator and maybe they're out of a job, they look lazy because they don't really want to go and get a job. They're not really wanting to work the 9 to 5, right? So they are just lying down there, looking up at the ceiling, lying on the couch. And you are smiling. Did I diagnose you? Okay. So it's working. So there are some people, they're out of a job. I mean, they're just looking like they're the laziest people on the planet. But they're not lazy. They may be creators. And a creator must create. You see, a creator must bring ideas. A creator must bring ideas into being. Now, there are 5 ways that we can create, or 4, or let me see. Anyway, the first one is we create new worlds. Now, people like Jeff Bezos of Amazon, they have created a new world, right? Before there was Amazon, there was no Amazon. But now, Amazon is its own universe that has systems and has people working in that universe. Correct? Okay. We have Richard Branson, who is also a creator. He has created the universe called Virgin Atlantic. Right? So, creators create new worlds. So, when you are just chilling, you don't really want to get that 9 to 5. You have to do what creators do. You have to create. Right? Okay. Then, we now move to, I want to move to the masters first. Because the masters, those guys, they work directly with skills. So, they are the ones, so a makeup artist would be a master. He draws. He has to be a master at what he's doing, right? He makes shoes. He has to be a master at making shoes. Do you see? So, the highest thing that a master needs is skill. Right? So, you have to be at the top of your game as a master. Otherwise, you're not going to have people coming to you. Correct? Now, we move to the managers. Now, the managers, they are, in fact, they are the bridge. And managers are so important. In fact, I have one of my staff here. His name is Ugo. Ugo, hi. Hello. That's Ugo over there. Ugo is an incredible manager. Why? Because he has the skill. He has that skill that managers need, which is understanding. I'm going to get there shortly, right? But managers are the bridge. They manage the skilled people because the masters with the skill, they just want to do what they are doing. Just want to play ball, just want to do their tennis. But it is your manager or the people around you who will now consolidate what you do into something bigger. That's why you see many musicians would have a manager. Football players would have a manager. Artists would have a manager. In fact, I have a friend who is an artist. If you leave him, he will just be drawing. He will not even collect money because it's what he does. It's what he likes to do. And I'm like, bro, hey, what's up? Please charge $10,000 for this thing. What are you talking about? Do you see? So that's why the masters would need a manager. So the managers are key people. So if you're a manager in this audience, I would like you to check it and understand it. Okay. So let's just go over this again. Creators must create. Creators must bring ideas. Creators must bring into being. That's what you do. Now, it can't be what you are just seeing. Because you're creating, it has to be something that's coming from inside of you that only you can do. Do you understand? So that's why it's not such a big deal to share your idea. Because the way it works for you, somebody else might not be able to understand it. You know, some people don't really share their ideas because they think somebody's going to steal it. That's thinking small. In fact, even if they steal it, there's enough universe to contain everything you want to do. Right? Okay. Then, managers must nurture. Managers must execute the ideas that the creators are creating. I was going to say ideaing. Anyway, the ideas that the managers are creating. Managers are the ones who bring order. Correct? Are we still together? Okay. Now, the masters must learn because they have to be at the highest level of their skill. The masters, they make their ideas tangible through skillful production. So they bring skill to the table. So to just wrap up this segment, because I have this segmented in my head, for you to be visible, you have to know which category you belong to and operate there fully. You see, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur because it's trendy now. It seems cool. But not everybody is an entrepreneur. But let me say that, let me rephrase that, because actually being an entrepreneur is a way of thinking. It's a way of bringing solutions. So I have a driver, and he could be an entrepreneur by the way he thinks. He could say that this madam now is my client, and I'm the company that is servicing this madam. Do you see what I mean? So he always wants a repeat performance. There's no complaints. The car is working, this and this and this. So that's an entrepreneurial mindset. So everybody can have one. But we're using the word entrepreneur loosely, how it's normally used. Not everybody is one. There are people who are 9-to-5 people. They just want to clock in and clock out. There are people who are career people who want to see their progression, that their assistant director, their director, and so on and so forth. There are some people who are freelancers. They can't be bothered. Once they have the money to do what they want to do, they are done. Right? There are even some people who are just loyal. They will just follow you. Anything you want to give me, madam, give me. But just you are paying the children's school fees or whatever. Like, people are wired differently. That's my point. Right? So, we cannot jump on the bandwagon of wanting to be like everybody else. You have to know what you are, because that's where your power lies. That's how you can be visible, by being who you are. If you're a creator and you are being a lazy creator, you snap out of it and create. Be yourself. If you're a manager, where you are, you grow that place where you are. You grow the master that you are servicing. Master now is the talent, the guys who are working with their skills. You grow the company or the world that you're managing. If you are a master, which is also a very good thing, you increase your skills. The reason we know about Serena Williams is because she's a superstar. How is she a superstar? By knowing how to play tennis like nobody else, right? The reason why we know Trevor Noah is because he's telling these jokes like there's nobody else on this planet telling jokes, correct? The reason why we know Ronaldo is because, why do we know him, Sha? Please, who can help me? Is he scoring all the goals? But you know what I mean. So you have to be the best at what you're doing as a master, right? I digressed a bit. We're talking about creating. And we talked about new worlds, creating new worlds. You can either create new worlds, or you can create content and beauty, which is what the masters do usually, because, beauty, music, art, content, you have like a writer, the makeup artist, they are masters, they create beauty, that kind of thing. So you can create new worlds, you can create beauty and content, and then you can create order. So managers create order. The technicians, those are the masters, create content and beauty. They have skill. And then the creators, they shall create. Okay. So we have finished with being visible. I'm sure everybody has heard it, that you have to diagnose yourself. You have to identify where you belong to, and you have to walk unapologetically in that path. If you're a master, be the best master there is. If you're a manager, be the best manager there is. And if you're a creator, please create. For example, architect Apeh Harrison is a creator. See, he has created this world now. Christy and Mercy are managing this world that Apeh has created, because Mercy reached out to me. Hello, we would like to have you. And I was very happy, right? And then she's like, okay, Christy is going to be your contact person. This is not how she talks, so I'm just, Christy is going to be your contact person. So they are managing the world that Apeh has created. Now, we are in this world that Apeh has created. And I'm standing here today, not as a creator, but as, let me not use master as a technician, like skill, because this is something that I'm coming to say to you, right? So even though you operate in a larger area, there could be like you have all three, but the biggest one is where you follow. But you still have to cultivate the other two. Okay, so now let's move on to possibility. Possibility must come from cultivating all three. That's how things become possible. Now, how do you cultivate these three? For creators, you need wisdom. There's something Apeh was saying that Architect Apeh, pardon me, we are friends. I forgot to use the title. But there's something we're talking about. Oh no, there's something he mentioned here, just as he was talking before, and it ties into what I'm about to say, right? Creators need wisdom. That's how you develop your creative side. Now, wisdom has 4 characteristics. Wisdom has foresight. Apeh was saying that things are invisible, that you cannot see, right? That's foresight. Because it's far there, you cannot see it, correct? For instance, the Western world is moving to battery-operated cars because of fuel, because of, all these things that are going on, right? So, a creator who has foresight is going to think that, do we make cars in this Nigeria? Do we? So he's going to think that, okay, when they phase out their normal cars and then they move to electric cars, what's going to happen to us here? Okay, there's a gap. How do we move into this gap? Right now, it's not a visible gap. Do you see the point? Right now, it's not a visible gap. But a creator is going to look into the future and say, and walk backwards. This is this. When they move these battery-operated cars, okay, what market are we going to have for Africa here now? Are they going to move in all those their other cars? Okay, if they are going to bring in all those their other cars, okay, how are we going to be fixing this injector or something? I don't know these things, but you know what I mean. And then he begins to act. So right now, the thing will be invisible. So a creator needs wisdom. Wisdom has foresight. Wisdom is also prudent. It protects its ideas from attack. Right? So, a creator may not necessarily, I know you will share your ideas, but you may not share your ideas with everybody. There are some people that you tell your idea, they are lie, come and receive help. What are you talking about? The same thing that Apeh was saying that we would have told Mark Zuckerberg to go to his pastor, right? So you protect your ideas from attack so that your ideas can come to birth. Wisdom also is self-leadership. You see, the problem of creators is that they can be very lazy. They're just lying down there because they don't have a 9 to 5. They are not wired for that. So you must have self-leadership. You see, I'm not even saying motivation or self-motivation. It has to be self-leadership. Telling yourself what to do, when to do it, how to do it, why to do it. Correct? A creator also needs courage. Because for you to stand up and say you want to build the biggest car company that doesn't have cars, or Airbnb doesn't have hotels, right? You need courage. And of course, a creator needs counsel because you have to be surrounded by people who know so that, you can take on advice. Now, managers need understanding. It means putting people before you. Managers are in the middle. They're in the middle of the creators and the masters, right? So you are managing your master and you're managing the world in which your master is. This master sounds strange, but you know what I mean. You are managing the new world that has been created. You're managing the systems that have been created to run that world. You're managing them. You're managing your staff to make sure that they're getting the best and so on and so forth. So a manager needs understanding. That manager needs to put the needs of the world, that thing that the creator has created, needs to put it before himself. And he needs to put the needs of the master before his own needs. So a manager, in fact, the manager is the superstar of the show because managers need to be humble. Without humility, you will tear down the world. I'm talking to the young people here. I'm talking to all of us here. Many times we have opportunities and then we lose them because we can't just calm down and just chill. Just do what you're meant to do. When you put people before you, people are seeing and you will get your due. You don't have to jump. Now, managers need understanding. How about the masters? The masters need knowledge. You have to keep educating yourself. Oh, my Lord. So let me just tell you one story. My time will soon be up. Let me tell you a story. I went to do my nails yesterday so that I can be sharp for this show, right? And the master that was there, he didn't rub the thing very well for me, right? It means that he has lost me, correct? I went somewhere where the masters are more at the top of their game because that's what a master brings to the table. It's skill. So, for instance, the shoes you're making, you have to come to the point where they are the most superstar shoes in Nigeria. Because when somebody is wearing it and somebody else sees it and somebody else buys it, and so you will blow. Do you understand? It's just excellence, that skill. Correct? If you are drawing what has never been drawn before, people will look for you. So, a master has to be at the top of their skill. See, when people are using, maybe we have a plumber on site. No, a tiler. There are some tilers they want to break tile. No, in fact, they want to break tile. They will almost break down the whole wall. You want them to tile somewhere so it's looking nice and pretty and all, they're the circular cutting things that they use. No, one tiler will come and be pressing it. When he finishes fixing it, it will look so terrible. But a tiler that is a master, he knows that things are evolving, things are changing. We can use a machine to achieve this. It's going to be a neater finish. It's going to be a this. Guess what? By the time he does it, you are looking for him because creators need masters in their world. Because the masters are the gateway. Because the master can cause loss of money. Do you see? When you create your world and you fill it with the wrong people, you are lost. So when you create a world of fashion, for example, and all your tailors, like Fela said, Nakpako, you are done for, right? You say they should sew a wedding gown, they will sew face cap. Nobody is going to come to you. Do you see what I mean? So the masters, they need to keep educating themselves and keep getting to the highest level of where they should be operating. We're on the same page, correct? So please, if you're a master, skill. Keep on educating yourself. Be the best at your game. If you're a manager, just be humble. Just be humble and grow the system, apply the system. And if you're a creator, wisdom, foresight, and so on and so forth. Now, let's also talk. So, let's recap a little bit. To be visible, be yourself. Creator, manager, master. To become possible, right? You have to grow that self that you have identified. Okay, but human beings are just human beings. So at the end of the day, what one person can do may be smaller than what 5 good heads can do together, correct? So another key to possibility is strategic alliances. Please underline it. That's one of the most beautiful phrases to me on this planet. Strategic alliances. Fantastic. For those of you who are still in university, now is the time to get your strategic alliances in place. So, for instance, you're in the School of Architecture, for example. Architecture is a 6-year course. In that 6 years, if you're a creator who wants to start a company, you're already thinking, okay, if you're a creator, you may need a manager, you may need a master. Abi, okay. There are people in building departments that you have 6 years to watch what these guys are doing and see how you guys can move together, right? This strategic alliance is even good for marriage. University now, you have 6 years to be investigating the person because it is also a key strategic alliance, but I digress. So, strategic alliances are cool. Let me tell you 2 things that have happened to me recently. You know, when we have friends, Want to just, want to have fun with our friends, want to travel with our friends, want to hang out with our friends, want to start businesses with our friends. So I said, let me start business with my friend. But the problem is both of us are creators. So I created my idea and I brought it to this second creator. Say, yeah, let's go. And she started creating her idea out of my own created idea. What's the problem? Do you see? So we're now dragging in different directions and we couldn't move forward. Both of us were creators. Okay. And I had another group of friends. In fact, I don't know why I have so many creator friends. And I'm like, yeah, let's start this because I create. It's what I do. So I want to start things. Then we now start and we don't have a technician. So I believe in lean startup. So if you don't have a lean startup, you do the work yourself. If you have a lean startup, you do, bootstrapping. You put in the sweat. And we started. And, okay, we're 2 creators and 1 technician. But that technician did not want to work. Or rather, he was working where he could work. And then the other places were left, right? So in the strategic alliance, you have to see who matches you. When you identify the person who is the manager or the master, So I will still use my staff as an example. Because I'm a creator, confession. Creators, when they create worlds, they can take people in and out of the world in their mind. Many creators get God complexes because they feel like, this is my show. I created all this. In fact, it's very sad because my nephew told my sister that, he likes how Auntie Ene can fire, that he wants to be like me, so he'll be firing people. I said, no. So that's a creator thing. So you've created your world, you have an idea of how you want it to look like, and then there are people in that world that are behaving strange. And you just come here like, you're fired, right? So that's where the manager comes in. Because the manager is able to establish, say, MD, Madam, Oga, just leave this. Let me manage the situation, right? And that's what happens. So you have to have people who are, strategic alliance. Okay, so I want to close with a quote and a question. My quote is from Proverbs 24, verse 3 and 4. A house is built by wisdom. It is established by understanding. And through knowledge, its rooms are filled with all sorts of precious riches and valuables. You see that movement? The creator will found the thing. The manager will establish it. If your masters, the people working in that your business, if they are bad, you are done for. Right? The football clubs, if all the players cannot play, there will be no football club. Abi? So, I want to ask you now, are you ready to be visible? And are you ready to make it possible? Please, I want you to hear what we're talking about here today and then go out and apply. And just in each category, you see a creator who is worth 51.4 billion. That's Mark Zuckerberg. You will see a manager who is worth, I've read of music managers who are worth 500 million. And we're not talking of naira, we're talking about dollars, right? And then you see skilled people, masters, who are worth 250, 100 million. So it's just to show you that it is possible. You just have to act in the way you're wired. Thank you.